The Great Pyramid of Giza, built around 2560 BC for Pharaoh Khufu, held the record as the tallest human-made structure for an incredible 3,800 years. Standing at about 146 meters for 181 feet, it was built from over 2 million limestone blocks, each weighing several tons. For millennia, nothing on Earth rivaled its scale or precision. It wasn't until the 14th century that a taller structure appeared, England's Lincoln Cathedral, which briefly surpassed it. The pyramid's alignment with the stars and its near-perfect geometry still puzzle scientists today. Even after 4,500 years, it stands as a timeless symbol of human ambition and ancient engineering genius. Leonardo da Vinci wasn't just a painter, he was a true multitasking genius. Historical accounts suggest he could write with one hand while sketching with the other, performing two creative acts at once. This incredible ambidexterity reflected how his brain worked, balancing logic and imagination in perfect harmony. Da Vinci often filled his notebooks with mirrored handwriting, written backward so it could only be read in a mirror. Some believe he did this to keep his ideas private, while others think it came naturally due to his left-handedness. Either way, it shows how differently his mind operated, a blend of mystery, mastery, and pure creativity. Despite what movies and comics show, real Vikings never wore horned helmets. Archaeologists have never found a single battle helmet with horns from the Viking Age. In reality, their helmets were simple, made of iron or leather, practical for protection, not decoration. The horned image came centuries later, from art and theater. The myth began in the 1800s when costume designers for Wagner's opera During Die Nibelungen added horned helmets to make Vikings look more dramatic. That image stuck in popular culture ever since. So while we imagine fierce warriors with horns, the real Vikings were far more practical and just as fearsome without them. Although Cleopatra ruled Egypt, she wasn't ethnically Egyptian. She was born into the Ptolemaic dynasty, a Greek royal family descended from Ptolemy I, one of Alexander the Great's generals. The Ptolemies ruled Egypt after Alexander's conquest in 332 BC, blending Greek and Egyptian traditions in their royal court. Cleopatra VII was the last active ruler of this dynasty, fluent in several languages, and the first of her line to learn Egyptian. She saw herself as both a Greek queen and an Egyptian pharaoh, presenting herself as the goddess Isis. Her reign marked the end of ancient Egypt's independence before it became part of the Roman Empire. The Colosseum, completed in 80 AD under Emperor Titus, was the largest amphitheater ever built in the Roman Empire. It could seat around 50,000 people, who came to watch gladiator fights, animal hunts, and even mock naval battles. Ingenious Roman engineering allowed for complex stage machinery and trapdoors beneath the arena floor. Its oval shape, towering arches, and underground network called the hypogeum made it a marvel of ancient design. Entry and exit were so well organized that thousands could enter or leave in minutes. Nearly 2,000 years later, the Colosseum still stands as a symbol of Rome's power, ingenuity, and love of spectacle. Around 1440, a German inventor named Johannes Gutenberg revolutionized communication by creating the first movable type printing press. His design allowed individual metal letters to be rearranged and reused, making book production far faster and cheaper than ever before. Before that, every book had to be copied by hand, a slow and costly process. Gutenberg's most famous work, the Gutenberg Bible, was printed in 1455 and is considered a masterpiece of both art and technology. His invention sparked the spread of knowledge across Europe, fueling the Renaissance, the Reformation, and the scientific revolution. In many ways, it was the internet of the 15th century. Napoleon Bonaparte's supposed shortness is one of history's most persistent myths. In reality, he was around 1.69 meters tall, quite normal for a Frenchman of the early 1800s. The confusion came from differences between French and British measurement systems and from British propaganda that mocked him as the Little Corporal. Portraits and accounts from his lifetime show him standing eye to eye with many of his generals. The myth stuck because it fit the British image of Napoleon as a small man with big ambitions. Ironically, his strong personality and enormous influence made him seem larger than life, just not in height. In 1826, French inventor Joseph Nicephore Niepce captured the world's first photograph using a process he called heliography. He placed a pewter plate coated with bitumen in a camera obscura and exposed it to light for about 8 hours. The image he produced, known as View from the Window at La Grasse, shows the rooftops of his estate in France. The photo was grainy and blurry, but it marked the birth of photography, capturing light permanently for the first time in history. Niepce's invention inspired others, including Louis Daguerre, who later developed the daguerreotype. That small, gray image from a window began the visual revolution that still shapes our world today. The Great Wall of China stretches for more than 21,000 kilometers, winding through mountains, deserts, and plains. Built over many centuries, it began as small regional fortifications in the 7th century BC and was later unified and expanded by Emperor Qin Shi Huang around to 20 BC. Its purpose was to protect China from northern invasions and control trade along the Silk Road. Constructed from stone, brick, and packed earth, the wall was built by millions of workers, including soldiers and peasants. Today, it's one of the most iconic landmarks on Earth and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Though not visible from space as often claimed, its vast scale remains a breathtaking testament to human perseverance. The Statue of Liberty was gifted to the United States by France in 1886 to celebrate friendship between the two nations and the ideals of freedom and democracy. Designed by French sculptor Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi and built with the help of engineer Gustave Eiffel, it was shipped in 350 pieces and reassembled on Liberty Island in New York Harbor. Standing 93 meters tall, the statue became a symbol of hope for millions of immigrants arriving in America. Her torch represents enlightenment, and the tablet she holds bears the date of U.S. independence, July 4, 1776. Today, the Statue of Liberty remains one of the world's most recognizable icons of freedom. Thanks for watching, like, and subscribe.